So today we are going to be talking on sex education. Sex education is an essential education needed by every growing child. Hello everyone, this is Royal Care Counselling Outreach. As to remain your online counselor, my name is Rachel. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and of course follow us on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram at Royal Care Counselling Outreach. Thank you. Before we continue, let's define sex education. Sex education is the provision of knowledge about number 1, body development, number 2, sex, number 3, sexuality, and number 4, skill development and socialization, because some children find it difficult to socialize with their peer groups. So let's start with number 1, body development. We're going to be discussing on the different stages of body development, starting from the embryo stage to adulthood. So in number 1, we are going to be talking of section A of body development. Section A starts with embryo. Every individual, every existing human being started as an embryo, then developed into a fetus. After the embryo and infancy stage, we are going to start with the stages of development. Number 1, infancy. That's known as to age 1. Then number 2 is toddler. Number 1 is from weeks to age 1, when a child is a week, 2 to age 1. Then the toddler stage is from 1 to 5 years old. That is referred to as toddler. Any child from age of 1 to 5 is being referred to as toddler. That's another stage of development. Number 3 stages of development, childhood. And childhood has been divided into two stages. We have the early childhood, which is from age 3 to 8, and of course the mid childhood, which is from 8 to 11. We're going to be talking of adolescence. Adolescence starts from age 12 to 18. Then after adolescence stage of development, we are going to be talking of adulthood. Once you pass the age of 18, you are referred to an adult, so you are responsible for any actions you take or any decisions you take. So you are referred to as an adult. After adulthood comes old age. So we are going to be talking of Sigmund Freud theory of psychosexual stages of development. It's a theory in counseling. That is how he perceives or he views human development. So number 1 of Sigmund Freud psychosexual stages of human development is the anal stage. It is believed that the primary aim of the libido at this stage is bowel and bladder training. Meaning at the age of 1 to 3, the child is being taught how to make use or effective use of the bladder and the bowel. The bladder in the sense that it's the duty of the parent to nurture the child, to be able to know that, okay, once I want to pee, I have to make use of the restroom or my potty. Once I want to use the toilet, once I want to poo, I have to make use of the toilet, not that I just poo and pee on the floor. Access of this stage is solely dependent on the mother to be able to make good use of the bladder and bowel training. Meaning the mother she ought to adopt B.F. Skinner's theory of reward and punishment. Once the child is able to make use of the toilet training process effectively, the mother can reward the child with a praise, with a thumbs up, with gifts. Probably what she knows the child likes, she can reward the child with it. Then punishment on the other hand is once the child pee on the floor or urinate on the floor, the mother can simply make the child to sit on the potty for some minutes, just as a means of punishing the child, to remember that once you want to pee or you want to poo, you are supposed to sit here. So the success of this stage solely lies on the mother. That's why B.F. Skinner came into Freud's theory. I'm sorry to adopt B.F. Skinner reward and punishment, but it's an effective way to help the child in the toilet training. Number 2 is the phallic stage. This stage is from age 3 to 6 years old. Here, the genitals is noticed, or the genitals starts to surface, meaning the girl child is able to identify that, oh, I'm a female, I'm a girl child, I'm not a boy child. She's able to identify the difference between a boy child and the girl child. And the boy child, on the other hand, is able to identify that I'm a boy, I am not a girl. At this stage, the octopus complex begins to surface. Let me explain it. The octopus complex in the sense that the boy child starts to see his father as his rival, while the girl child starts to see a mom as a rival. That's why once the father carries the girl child, she wouldn't want her mom to come closer. And once the boy is with his mom, he wouldn't want the dad to come closer. But the slight difference is that the child is still afraid of, the male child is still afraid of his father. He sees himself that, oh, my dad can still punish me. So there is a fear in it, and that fear is called castration anxiety. That fear the male child still have for the father that, okay, my dad is my rival, but I still have to respect myself, is castration anxiety. So the term erectual complexity is a similar case of the girl child when she's, of course, envious of her mom. At this stage, the girl child is being described as experiencing the stage of penis envy. That's how Sigmund Freud viewed the stages of human development. The third stage of Freud's psychosexual stage of development is latency stage. This is stage 6 to adulthood or to puberty. At this latency stage, feelings and development starts to surface, but the id, the ego, and superego surface more. The id, it has to do with socialization. That's when the child starts to identify that, okay, I have to develop my skills, my values, my relationship, my peers. I have to have friends. At this stage, when you ask a child, who is your friend? He said, this is my best friend, this is my childhood friend, this is my this friend. That's the stage of id. And the ego, the child is just interested in peer group, hobbies, and his interests. That's when you hear, I love playing football, I love this, I love that. Then when you ask of his interest, you say, my best food is this. So at that stage, the child is just interested in his peer group, his hobbies, and his interests. So the superego starts leveraging from the id and the ego, so it continues the development from that. The latency stage is a time of exploration for an individual. That's when the sexual energy is being dominant. However, the sexual energy subsides and gives room for intellectual skills, intellectual ability, and room to interact. If that stage is not properly managed, the child becomes fixated or stalked, meaning the child becomes immature or unable to interact or have self-confidence in his or herself. That is why this stage is very essential for every developing child to be able to build self-confidence in themselves and to be able to interact effectively with their peer group. So the next stage we're going to be talking about is genital stage. This stage is from puberty to death. The goal of this stage is to help establish a balance between the various life experience and life areas, how to balance your life effectively. If you have been able to successfully manage from your infancy to this stage, then being able to manage genital stage will be very easy. This stage, the libido becomes higher once again. Unlike that of the latency stage, the libido becomes higher for the opposite sex. That is when a man gets attracted to the opposite sex and you hear, I'm in love. That's where love exists, because the sexual urge for the opposite sex becomes extremely high. Genital stage starts during puberty but lasts throughout one's lifetime. That's it. An individual continues to have the urge or the affection for the opposite sex. However, Sigmund Freud was criticized. Critics must exist in every research for better research to be carried out. His research was being criticized that, number one, his research was said that how can you test or measure an individual's libido? The next one is that his research was vague, that how is it possible for you to say an individual behavior is based on his childhood experience? And number three, of the critics was that most of his research work were more concentrated on the boy child, not on the girl child. And the last critic was that how can you test these psychosexual stages scientifically based on libido and past childhood experience or past childhood stages of development. So the next subtopic we're going to be talking about is sex. That is when a child is able to identify that is a male or is a female, is a boy or is a girl, and the child is able to understand that his reproductive organ is different from that of the male. That is, the child is able to understand that I have a penis, and the girl child is able to understand that, okay, I have a vagina. This stage, once the child is being asked to fill a form, you see a column for the male and a column for the female where it's being written sex. You're supposed to be able to identify that, okay, I'm a male, I'm a female. The next subtopic we're going to be talking about is sexuality. Sexuality has to do with the expression of who you are as a human being. So we're going to be dividing this sexuality into some segments. Number one is being able to identify that you're a female or you are a male. Then number two is body image. You're able to understand that, okay, I'm changing in my body or in my looks because I am a female, and I'm changing in my body because I am a male. That's where body development comes in. At the end of the day, you see that the boy's voice begins to develop stronger and stronger, while the girl notices that, okay, she starts to develop breast, then she starts to develop hips. Number three is gender identity. You're able to understand the uniqueness of your gender. That is, being able to understand that I am a male and I am unique in my own image, and being able to understand that I am a female and I am unique in my own image. There's no need for me to be dying to be a female as a male, and there's no need for me to be dying to be a male as a female. So number three is gender role. Being able to understand that, okay, there are some expectations that I ought to do as a female, and there are some expectations that you ought to do as a male. This is where sex education is very essential. African parents shy away from sex education. Sex education is very essential. Sexual orientation, being able to be informed of everything about your sexual being. As a male, you are being oriented on how your sexual being grows, how changes occurs in your body, and how you are expected to manage those changes. And the next one is eroticism. Eroticism has to do with being able to manage your libido, being able to control your libido. Sometimes the urge as an adolescent from wanting to get close to the opposite sex comes in. You are supposed to be able to manage. Then genital organs, that's understanding that you have a different private part from that of the female, and you are to develop in a different way from the opposite sex. Your own way of development or your own stages of development is different from the other sex. Then the last one is love and affection, being able to manage an effective love life, understanding that you are going to see more and more beautiful and handsome ones. They always say the beautiful ones are not yet born. So once you decide that, okay, I want to be in love, or I want to love this particular person, you should be able to know that you are definitely going to see other pretty ones out there. But being able to effectively manage your libido, your urge. Sex education is becoming very wide. So the next topic is relationship. We have different categories of relationship. We have friendship. That's mutual understanding between both parties. It can be between same sex. It can be between opposite sex. That's friendship. Number two is family. The relationship you have with your family. That's the bond you have with your family, both nuclear family and of course extended family. The next type of relationship is romantic relationship. That's the affair between you and the opposite sex. The next form of relationship is long distance relationship. That's geographical or physically apart, but you are still able to manage yourself effectively. People are not in the same geographical location. You people are physically apart, but you are still able to manage that relationship. The next one is proximity relationship. Proximity relationship is the relationship that physically connects people. Probably people are in the same working environment, the same classroom setting, but because you people see every day, the physical connection is there, the physical contact is there. Once you people go apart, you both might not be as close as you used to be. We have relationship with pets. That's lovers of animals, lovers of pets like cats, dogs, monkeys, etc. Those are relationship between domestic animals and human. The next relationship is open relationship. That is when married partners or partners that are sexually connected together give room for multiple partners to come in, meaning you are in love with a particular person, but both of you have agreed that okay, I can also have other sexual partners. That's an open relationship. We also have complicated relationship. That is when the relationship is not defined. You don't know what both of you want from each other. You people are just, let's see how it goes. Anywhere belle face. That is a complicated relationship. Then the next one is trophy relationship. That is a situation whereby a wealthy man goes in and take in a much more younger girl as his wife, or a younger man decides to get involved or entangled with a richer woman. That is trophy relationship. There's trophy involved. There's something to gain involved. Something is involved in that relationship. That is called trophy relationship. Then we have dating. That is seeing each other, which might lead to marriage, of course. That is dating. We also have platonic relationship. That's people who adore each other, who are bonded together but are not sexually connected or sexually involved with each other. We have online relationship, like dating online, somebody you have not seen, you are dating, that's online relationship. And there are some online friends that you might have never met, but you people connect so easily. That is online relationship. We have professional relationship. That's relationship that has to do with people who meet in the same environment. Maybe in an office environment, you decide to be friends. That is also called professional relationship. The last subtopic we're going to be talking about is skill development and socialization. This skill development has to do with awareness on how your body develops. It embodies everything about development, how the stages of development, the changes that occurs in your body, everything you are to expect in your body as human, the general stages or the general expectations of human development that is supposed to occur in your body. Then socialization is how you interact effectively or well with your mates and people older than you, people younger than you, people that are more advanced than you. It has to do with being able to effectively manage relationship and being able to effectively communicate well, not being stalked according to Freud, not being timid in your self-confidence, being able to effectively explore your personality. That has to do with socialization. That being said, the essence of sex education is to help younger ones understand who they are and things to expect of them, things to expect to occur in their body, and how to effectively manage themselves without being ashamed of their looks and their genital structure. In an African setting, it has been observed that parents do not usually give sex education. Only very few of them give sex education. They just expect the children to mature and live a normal life. If peradventure you find yourself as that kind of parent or African parent who is shy and feels uncomfortable with discussing about sex education with your ward or your kids, please take them to a counselor to help them in educating them sexually, because you have seen cases of where some people feel ashamed of their body structure. That leads them to the latest surgery, BBL, that has caused some people to even change from being a female to a male, and some people from being a male to a female, being ashamed of their genital structure. Please, parents, especially in an African setting, please give your children sex education. Tell them things to expect as a female and things to expect as a male, and how to effectively manage the developments as they keep occurring in them. If you cannot do that, please take them to see a counselor. The counselor would help you in enlightening them sexually. And I still remain your online counselor. My name is. See you in our next section. Bye.